Welcome to the Haunted Kitchen. In this week's Halloween episode, we conjure up some Halloween blueberry mummy muffins. Come and see how it is done. For this recipe, I went ahead and doubled it for my family, but you can just do a single batch. It's really simple. You just mix together your dry ingredients. You mix them together to get the spices and baking powder evenly distributed, and then you'll start adding in all of your wet ingredients like the egg yolks, the egg, the vanilla, all of that fun stuff. And you'll mix that together. And then of course, you can use your own recipe. You can use a muffin mix that you can buy. You can buy the muffins from the bakery. Whatever you want to do for this recipe, you don't have to make them from scratch, but I thought I would share the recipe that this came with. I hope you enjoy. Since I didn't have apple pie spice pre-mixed, I used 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and it turned out just fine. What you see me doing here is rolling my lemon before I start zesting it and cut it to squeeze it. That helps to extract a lot of the juice before you cut into it, and it helps to save on your squeezing. It does say to mash your berries. Mine are still partially frozen, so I just crushed them well to release some of the juices, but feel free to go ahead and fully mash them if you'd like. My batter was still a little bit dry without the moisture from the berries, so I went ahead and added those in and just mixed it the rest of the way with my spatula. And then once it was well incorporated, well mixed, I went ahead and used my cookie scoop to put it into my muffin tins that are already either lined like what I did, or you can spray them well, making sure to wipe off any messes that drip onto the pan so that it doesn't get baked on there. When you're done with all of that, you just bake it at 425 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes, and it says to rotate halfway. If you do jumbo muffins, you're gonna wanna bake them longer, probably about 45 to 55 minutes because you've got more mass there. To start out this icing, we're going to take the cream cheese and the butter that is at room temperature, and we're going to whip it up to mix them together, and then we're going to slowly add the sugar. Once we've added all the sugar and it's mixed in, we're going to put the mixer on high and beat it until it's stiff and creamy. About 3 minutes, it says. I'm gonna call that good. It's definitely stiff and it's creamy. All my piping bags are packed away at the moment since we're moving to Alaska, so I'm gonna use a Ziploc bag, but the instructions say to transfer it to a pastry bag with a 1/4 inch flat tip to pipe these onto your Mummy muffins. Now what you're gonna do with your icing is kind of mold it together a little bit in the bag, squish it all together, and then twist your bag. Just kind of keep it inside. I'm gonna do hole like that, and I hope I get pretty good stripes with this. So what we're gonna do on our first muffin here is we're gonna do stripes across, and you're gonna just kind of crisscross, but it says to leave a space for the eyes. That's where the blueberries and the googly eyes are gonna be. This is a very thick icing. If you need to, thin it out a little bit, but you don't want it runny. Yeah, I'm gonna take this out and I'm gonna actually water it down a little bit. That is gonna wear me out. My hand is gonna be too tired to try to squeeze that through there, but I don't want the stripes to be any bigger than what I have it cut at. I should be able to reuse the same bag. That's just, wait, it's more like paste. I'm gonna thin it down with milk. Start small and add in. That should be able to be squeezed through the bag and yet still hold its shape. Because it's not runny, it's still holding form, but it's softer. See how I can push in there without having to really mash. Squish it all together. That feels a lot better in the bag. Much better. A little bit thicker than the 1/4 inch pipe would be, but that's okay. So now what we do, I don't have any fresh blueberries, I only have frozen, but you would add in your blueberries next, if you're gonna do that, and then put your eyeballs on top. Here's our cute little eyeballs. So I'm just gonna put those in. Try not to get my nails in there, so I'm gonna use one of these citrus peelers from Tupperware to kind of arrange the eyeballs. And there we have our first mummy. All right, let's decorate some more. When I made these yesterday to get ready for today's video, I made 2 dozen, expecting several would disappear, and they did. So we'll probably only do dozen and a half of our mummies. The nice thing about mummies is through the movies, their wrappings are usually pretty tattered and weird looking, so you can go as artistic on this as you want. You can make it really neat. You can make them really sloppy, blowing in the wind, get real creative with it. Now obviously if I had the right tip, they'd be flatter and not so much icing, but that's okay. Go with what you have and enjoy it. They're cute either way, and they're delicious, of course. And if you wanted to do some kind of like ghosts instead, you could cover the whole thing with white, add some eyeballs, go that way. You could do Frankenstein if you wanted and tint it green. That would be adorable. You could do blue, cover the whole thing, or do like a kind of a piping tip that makes it look like hair. Put the googly eyes and it'd be like Cookie Monster. Not that I watch PBS anymore, but Cookie Monster was always funny. think I'm about to run out of icing. So I'm just gonna do zigzags on it, call it good. That one looks like he's going, ooh. There we go. Our Halloween blueberry mummy muffins are all done and ready for my crew to devour. And there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed watching those wicked little mummies come to life on those blueberry muffins. I hope this has inspired you to conjure up something wicked for Halloween. Have a blessed weekend.